Hey lovely people, welcome back once again to another episode of Stitches Beats collection. I'm Miss Stitches. Today's video I want to share with you how to make this amazing and beautiful and so easy handmade beaded bag. Before we start, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button. Let's get started. Materials needed. To start, you cut your fish line. Please make sure it's long enough. Then you cut it off with your scissors, and we are using 0.70 mm. So you make sure you have equal ends or the ends of the fish line. Then you pick 6 beads. Fix on the left fish line. 6 beads. Then you fix on the left fish line. You fix all 6 beads on the left fish line, so you can fix it on any side of the fish line, being it the left or the right side. You fix all 6 beads. Then with the last bead, which is the 6th bead, you cross with the other side of the fish line. So depending on where you fix the beads, cross with the other side of the fish line. Then you get your first ring. So this is what we have. Then going on this fish line, you fix 3 beads. So you pick 3 beads, then you fix on the left fish line. Then you pull it down. Then on the right fish line, which is the other side, you fix 1 bead. Then this is what you should have. So 3 beads on the left fish line, 1 bead on the right fish line. Then you cross with 1 more bead. So you pick 1 bead and then you cross with it. Then you cross with both fish line. So after you fix 3 beads on the left fish line, 1 bead on the right fish line, you still go on and pick 1 bead and then you cross with both fish line. You pull it out, then you have your second ring done. So this is how it should look. Then you fix 3 beads on the left fish line again, 1 bead on the right fish line. Then you pick 1 bead and then you cross with both fish line. Then you cross with both fish line. So you pull it out. And then you have your 3rd ring done. So you have your 3rd ring done. So with the next one, you still go on and weave with the same method. Fix 3 beads on the left fish line, fix 1 bead on the right fish line, then you pick 1 bead and then you cross with it. So we are going to weave with the same method 6 times. So please stick with me, or please stay with me. So we go on and weave till we get to the 6th ring. So when you get to the last part, which is the 6th ring, this is what you should have. Then on this fish line, so on the right fish line, you fix 1 bead on the right fish line. Then with that same right fish line, you skip this black bead here and go through the first brown bead. So you go through the first brown bead, skipping the black bead. So you skip 1 bead and go through the next bead. Then you go through with the right fish line, you pull it out. Then this is what you should get. Then on the left fish line, you fix 3 beads on that side. then you cross with the right fish line. So this is what you should get after you are done, and we have 7 rings in all. So all your rings should add up to 6. That is what we were doing. So on the right fish line, you go through the next bead here with the right fish line. Sorry, you go through the next bead, and then you pick 4 beads, fix on the left fish line. Fix 4 beads on the left fish line. Then you cross with the 4th bead. You cross with the 4th bead. You pull it out. So this time we are starting the next step. Okay, so with the right fish line now, you go through the next bead. Then you still pick 4 beads, fix on the left fish line. Fix all 4 beads on the left fish line. Then you cross with the 4th bead using the right fish line. So you can first fix 3 beads, then with the 4th bead you cross with both sides of the fish line. So we are adding up to 6. So we have 3 on the left side, and then the 2 is coming out of the right fish line. So you cross with the 1 bead, then it adds up to 6. So you pull the fish line. With the right fish line, you go through the next 2 beads. With the right fish line, you go through the next 2 beads here. The next 2 beads. So this is what you should get. You should get your fish line coming out of 3 beads. So this time on the left fish line, you fix 3 beads on that side. So you pick 3 beads. You fix on the left fish line, and then you cross with the 3rd bead. So you need to bear it in mind that we are adding the rings up to 6, or we are adding everything up to 6. So if you do your circle and it's still up to 6, you should know you are at 4th. So you pull it out, and then this is what you should get. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next 1 bead. You go through the next 1 bead. Then that's what you should get. You should get your fish line coming out of 2 beads. Then on the left fish line, you fix 4 beads. Cross with the 4th bead using the right fish line. Then you pull it out. Please make sure you pull it well to make your work firm. Pull it out. And then with the right fish line, you go through the next 2 beads. This is what you should get. Then on the left fish line, you fix 3 beads, and then you cross with the 3rd bead. Then this is what you get. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next 1 bead. Then you fix 4 beads on the left fish line. Then you cross with the 4th bead. Then you pull it out. I always say pull it out because you need to pull it out to make sure your work is firm. Then you, with the right fish line, go through the next 2 beads. Then on the left fish line, you fix 3 beads on the left fish line. Then you cross with the 3rd bead using the right fish line. So please note, anytime you go through 1 bead with the right fish line, you always have to fix 4 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the 4th bead. And anytime you go through 2 beads, you always have to fix 3 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the 3rd bead. So we are going to weave with the same method till we get to the end of this round. So when you get to the last end with the right fish line, you go through the next 2 beads, 1, 2. Then you fix 3 beads on the left fish line, and then you cross with the 3rd bead as usual. Then you pull it out, make sure it's very firm or it's very tight. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next 1 bead. You go through this 1 bead. Then you fix 4 beads on the left fish line, and then you cross with the 4th bead as usual. You pull it out and make sure it's firm or tight. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next 2 beads. You go through the next 2 beads here. Then you fix 3 beads on the left fish line, and then you cross with the 3rd bead. You still pull it out. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead. So we are going to move with the same method until we get to the end of this round as well. So with the same method, as I said, anytime you go through 1 bead, you fix 4 beads on the left fish line, and then you cross with the 4th bead. And anytime you go through 2 beads with the right fish line, you fix 3 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the 3rd bead as well. So it's the same method we are going to weave it. So stay with me and let's weave on. So when you get to the last end, you go through the next 2 beads, and then you fix 3 beads on the left fish line, and then you cross with the right fish line. You cross with the 3rd bead using the right fish line. Then you go through the next 1 bead. So we are done with this round. and we are going to continue weaving with the same method until we get the length we want. So about 10-11 times we are going to weave with it, or let me say 9-10 times we are going to weave with the same method. So one more time, I said if you go through one bead, you fix 4 beads on the left fish line, and then you cross with the 4th bead. Then if you go through 2 beads, you fix 3 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the 3rd bead. So we are going to weave on till we get the size we want. So this is how big I want my bag. Then we are going to continue weaving. So this time, anytime you get to the pointed side, you are going to make it 5. So when you get here, we make it 5. When you get to this side, we make it 5. So where the pointed part is, that's where we are going to weave 5, 5, 5. So on the left fish line, you fix 4 beads, and then you cross with the 4th bead using the right fish line. You pull it out. So we are using the same method in weaving this part as well. So with the right fish line, you go through the next 2 beads. Then you fix 3 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the 3rd bead. You still have to pull it out very well. And then with the right fish line, you go through the next 2 beads. Then you fix 3 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the 3rd bead using the right fish line. Then you go on and weave with the same method until you get to the pointed end. So when you get to this side, this time we are adding up to 5. You have the fish line coming out of 2 beads already, so you need to add 3 more. So on the left fish line, you fix 3 beads, and then you cross with the 3rd bead. So instead of 4, you fix 3 beads, and then we cross with the 3rd bead, adding it up to 5. So you already have 2 plus 3, making 5. So you cross with the 3rd bead using the right fish line, and then this is what you should get. As you can see, beads is 5, and then with the right fish line, you go through the next 2 beads. So you have the fish line coming out of 3 beads, and then on the left fish line, you fix 3 beads, and then you cross with the 3rd bead. So this time we are adding up to 6. So as I said earlier, it's only the pointed side that you're adding up to 5. After adding that side up to 5, you still weave on with the same method, adding the rest up to 6. So this is what you get. And then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead, and then you weave till you get to the next pointed end. So when you get to that end, you go through the next 2 beads. And then as you can see, you have the fish line coming out of 2 beads. Then on the left fish line, you fix 3 beads. You cross with the 3rd bead, adding that side also up to 5. So we are adding the pointed sides up to 5. So we are going to weave all round. But remember, anytime you get to the pointed ends, add that side up to 5. So when you get to the last end, you go through the next 2 beads with the right fish line, and then on the left fish line you fix 2 beads, and then you cross with the 2nd bead. So on the left fish line this time, you fix 2 beads, and then you cross with the 2nd bead. So the fish line is out of 3 beads and we are adding up to 5. So you fix 2 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the second bead using the right fish line. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead. So with the same method, we are going to weave one more time, and then this time we are weaving all up to 6. So when you get to this side, you go through the next 2 beads, then you weave up to 6. So on the left fish line, you fix 4 beads, you cross with the 4th bead, and then you pull it out. You cross with the 4th bead using the right fish line, and then you pull it out. Then with the right fish line, go through the next 2 beads, and then you fix 3 beads on the left fish line. You cross with the 3rd bead using the right fish line, and then you pull it out also to make it firm. And then with the right fish line, you still go through the next 2 beads. So this time with the same method, you are going to weave till you get to the last end. And then this time you only go through 2 beads with your right fish line, and then you fix 3 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the 3rd bead using the right fish line. So that's the method we are using to weave now. So you weave with the same method until you get to the end of this round. So this time when you get to the side that we added it up to 5, you go through the next 2 beads from each side. That is what will give you the curvy shape we want. So you go through 2 beads and then you fix 3 beads. We are still adding up to 6. That's what I'm trying to say. So when you get to the last end, also you go through the next 3 beads. On this side, you go through the next 3 beads, and then you fix 2 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the second bead. We are still adding up to 6, please bear in mind. Then you pull it out, and then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead. Okay, so you should get this curvy shape after you are done with this round. If you don't have the curvy shape, then I'm sorry, you are doing a wrong work. So we are going to weave one more time to secure the length of the curvy shape. Okay, so after I did it, I felt the size, like the curvy shape didn't come well, so I need to weave one more time. Yeah, when one curve say me onushishi, because no bani bag I feel for, so the curvy shape has to come out to make the bag nice. It's the same method we are using to weave this one more round, or let me say this last round. So the same method, stick with me and let's weave on till we get to the end of it. So when you get to the last end, you go through the next 3 beads as well. Then you fix 2 beads on the left fish line, and then you cross with the second bead, and then you are done with the half side of the bag. So with your fish line, you need to pass it through to make your work secured. So as you can see, the curvy shape is out well, and then this is what you should get. So I did one side off camera, and as you can see, it's the same color, the same size, and we are about to join the sides together to get the full shape of the bag. So this time we are going to line the bag with lining. We are going to use lining to line the bag, or you can use any fabric of your choice to line the bag, and any color of your choice. Since we used multicolored beads for it, depending on the beads you are using, you can use the color of lining to line it to make your bag nice. So we are just going to line it to make it beautiful. So I'm done lining the bag, and as you can see, it's nicely and neatly made. So I have a video of how to line the bag, and I'll drop that in the description box so you can watch and get the process of what I'm doing. So we are now going to join the sides of the bag together. So with the new fish line, you go through 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this is, you go through the 2 beads, then 2 beads here, you go through those beads, then you pull your fish line out, and then with the left fish line you fix 1 bead, and with that same fish line you go through the next 6th bead on the other side of the bag. The next 2 beads, you go through the next 2 beads on the other side of the bag. You pull it out. You make sure you have equal length of the fish line. Then you pick one bead and cross with both sides of the fish line. So you pick one bead, fix and cross with both sides of the fish line. Please make sure you have equal length of the fish line. We don't want a situation whereby one side will be longer than the other. So with the right fish line, go through the next 2 beads. With the left fish line, you go through the next 2 beads as well. Then you go on and pick one bead and cross with both fish line. So you pick one bead, cross with both fish line, and then please pull it out to make it firm, because that's how it joins the bag. Then with the right fish line, go through the next bead. With the left fish line, go through the next 2 beads as well. Then you pick one bead, then you cross with both sides of the fish line. So please note, after you've picked one bead and then you cross with both fish line, with the right fish line, go through the next 2 beads. With the left fish line, go through the next 2 beads. Then you still go on and pick one bead, and then you cross with both sides of the fish line to join the bag together. So you go on and weave with the same method and join the sides of the bag together to get your bag complete. So we are done joining the sides of the bag, and as you can see, it's nice and you have your bag in shape now. We are not done yet. You need to pass your excess fish line through. So we are about to fix our handle now, and I have a video of how to make this beautiful and colorful beaded bag handle, so I'll drop that video also in the description box so you can watch, then get how I did it. So I have my fish line out of this bead here, so you can start from any side you want depending on how you want the colors to be. So you fix one bead on that side. So I fixed it on the right side of the fish line. Then with that same fish line, you go through this bead. So we are just fixing it in the middle part of the bag. So you fix it on the side you think is the middle part, because I don't know how to explain that part to you. And then you pick one bead, and then you cross with both fish line. Then you make sure it's tight. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead. With the left fish line, you go through the next bead as well. Then you pick one bead again, and then you cross with both sides of the fish line again. Please make sure you pull it so you make it very tight, because it's the handle. Then with the right fish line, go through the next bead. With the left fish line, go to the next bead as well. Then you pick one bead again, and then you cross with both fish lines. Then you go through the next 2 beads again, then you cross with both fish lines. So I did this about 4 or 5 times to make my handle secure, like to secure my handle, because I don't want a situation whereby the handle will remove or something. So you need to do it very well to make sure your handle is secured. Then after you pass the excess fish line through everything, so this is what you should have after you are done. You should have your handle fixed on top of the bag. Then you pass the excess fish line through. Then with the other side, you fix that one as well. So I'm going to do that off camera with the same method I used. So I'm going to do that off camera. So after you're done fixing both handles, this is what you should get, and your bag is halfway done. So to make your bag complete, you are going to attach this zip, and it's 12 inches. So you measure the size of the space you left, and then you buy a zip to fit that side. So you are going to attach it, and then you attach it the same way as you sewed the lining. So we are done with our bag. After you are done attaching it, this is what you get, and your bag is looking so beautiful. So with the zip, anything you put inside your bag is secured, like it's safe, so nothing comes out of the bag when it falls or it's turned upside down. And with this multicolored beads, you have all colors in it that is going to fit your outfits. If you want to see more of my tutorials, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you comment and share as well. Do well to follow me on Instagram and on Facebook. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. Thank you. See you in my next video. Have a nice day and bye.